The story starts that one day God created a new world to kill the gods' boredom. God named this new world as the Abyss. God flooded their creation in this world. All the humans survived by struggling each day. God enjoyed this, and this was simply entertainment for them. God even rewarded everyone who killed the monster. Then we see a girl named Ares say that they are the only hope for remaining humanity. Then we see the members of the final death squads, and they are the only ones who survived. We see now a person is sitting on a monster named Kang Hansu, and he is also a member of the death squad. He is going to be the main lead of this story. Erecnil's time-space crystal is an orb that possesses the ability to return to the past. This crystal is the only hope for humanity. Now the squad members discuss who is going to the past and change this calamity and save the humanity. They decide that Kang Hansu will be the one going to past. Urs gives the crystal to Kang Hansu and says he is the one who should go. He should not give up on humanity. Then Kang Hansu accepts the stone and uses the stone to go back to the past to change the future and save humanity. After using the crystal, Kang Hansu came to the past and says that he won't fail this time. Now we see everyone here is flustered and confused about what place is this and why are they here. They all are afraid, and the only thing they want is to go back. But we see Hansu is very calm because he knows about this other world. Hansu tells us that at first only 100 people went missing, but the numbers increased exponentially. And this all started to go out of control. On the day when Hansu turned 20 years, a bright blue light came in front of him and he went missing due to that unknown power. Then he learned that the other world devours other dimensions. Those who arrived here first learned skills first and were overly active. Here there are many strange-looking monsters that makes this place look more horrific. This other world is a world of violence and lawlessness, and when everyone from the world will be transferred here, then a door to the abyss will open, which will be the start of the Great War. Hansu tells us he has 5 years now, means the abyss will open after 5 years. But we all know he has traveled through time and all his skills and strength are gone. We see the sky start to crack, and from that crack a little demon appears, and everyone is stunned by it. The purple demon was flying. Then he greets everyone and tells them he is the assistant fairy. How can this demon call himself a fairy? The assistant fairy tells them to listen carefully. He is here to help them with the quick proceedings. Hansu is not happy to see him. On the contrary, he seems annoyed by it. The fairy tells them, "I welcome you all to the other world." Suddenly a guy starts to shout and ask, "What's all this? What is this other world?" The fairy doesn't like his tone and now he is angry with this guy. Now, this fairy gives a demonic smile and tells them that there is infinite freedom in this world. He tells them there is no law, order or morals in this world. It's not only this, but all the physical limitations will disappear. Anyone can grow infinitely strong here, just like a hero in a movie. He tells them it's a chance to make everything come true. Now he shows them a demonstration, and with just a snap of his fingers he blasted the body of this guy who was rude to him. Everyone is in disbelief, they don't understand what's going on. The fairy smiles and says sarcastically that he doesn't like people who are loud and talk a lot. Everyone is scared by seeing this and they start to run from him. Fairy gets angry and kills some more people and tells all of them to stop making noise. They all are scared and shut their mouth. Now, the fairy is happy and starts to explain further. He shows them a glowing thing and tells them it is called rune. They can obtain it by killing anything that's alive. There are 8 other ones that look similar to this and they all appear randomly. Rune is colorless. If they work hard and grow, then they can obtain better runes. This rune increases strength. He asks them who wants to take it. Everyone is scared except our main lead Hansu. Hansu raises his hand and tells him that he will take it. The demon gives this rune to him. He tells him that it's really cool. Runes twists the law. Scientifically, Hansu's muscles had a limit weight of 117.1 kilograms, but now it has increased to 122.3 kilograms. He begins to explain more about runes, but Hansu is already bored by this, because he already has all the knowledge about runes. Still, the fairy tells him that all runes have different effects and that cannot be explained by science. He tells everyone to gather lots of runes to become stronger. Then he tells them if they touch their right ear, then they can see what runes they have. Humans are normally on 10, but we see Hansu's strength is currently on 11. This is increased because of the rune. It doesn't matter what they hunt, they can acquire runes from any living thing. He gives everyone a dagger and tells them to enjoy. He tells them after he leaves the tutorial will begin. Everyone is still flustered and the fairy leaves. Suddenly they hear loud noises and when they turn behind they see a large group of goblins have appeared. This goblins looks terrific and they are ready to attack. Everyone here is scared by these goblins, but a girl tells all of them to calm down. She tells them to slowly move backward and don't aggravate them. Hansu notices this girl too. Now when all the people move behind, they notice they are blocked by an invisible wall. and the wall was moving closer, making them move towards those bloodthirsty goblins. Now the goblin starts to get more aggressive and charge towards them. Suddenly a door appears and a guy passed from it. There is a number above the gate which indicates only 50 people can pass through this. They all start to run toward the gate. But Hansu knows if all 100 of them get together and fight, then the chances of their survival will increase rapidly. Last time when he arrived here, almost 40 people in his group died because of goblins. Only 10 people survive inside the circle. But this time the story will be different. He takes his dagger out and starts to attack on goblins. One by one he started to kill goblins in front of him. This shocked everyone and they all were amazed by this. Hansu moves forward and doesn't stop. It's difficult for him because this body is from 10 years ago which is currently very weak. He starts to collect the rune which is fallen from the dead goblins. He got a rune which increased his dexterity by 0.1. Dexterity increases speed as well as reaction speed. Because of this, Hansu became more faster. Goblins tries to gang up on him but he swiftly kills them in a single swing. All the people are in disbelief and seeing Hansu fight alone motivates them too. They all charge toward goblins and fight them. Hansu knows that for the first 3 months, they will be protected in the tutorial area. And when this time is over, then they will be thrown into a fight with second and third years. These are people who came to Otherworld before them. Hansu knows these 3 months are their chance to grow more stronger. After the fight, they see that Hansu alone has slayed many goblins. They all think Hansu is no less than a monster. The assistant fairy was happy to see them all have survived, and only a few participants died. The assistant fairy tells them to keep going their best and he removes the wall and runs off. Everyone is very angry with the assistant fairy. Here, Hansu sees his status which is much improved than before, and he also received a dagger. But now Kang finding a way became stronger quickly, and he thought if Urs, Kang T, and Keldian was there here they would handle them alone. Kang also remembers a man who said there was a hidden dungeon hidden within the tutorial area, and no one was able to clear that dungeon. And if he will clear the middle part of that he will become strong. He also says he is a member of Valkyrie and if he goes to the past he will clear the hidden dungeon first. The harder the difficulty the more impossible to complete, but the bigger reward we'll get after success. Hansu makes up his mind and decides to go. In the first stage of the tutorial, the stage where 100 people gather and act together. They act within the allotted area for 1 week at a time, and they do this hunt for 3 months. After that, once they complete the second stage of the tutorial, the safe zone will be released and they will be able to contact the people who arrived previously. There are currently 2 hidden pieces in the first stage of the tutorial, and nobody has ever reached them. Hansu suddenly notices a man forcing a group to come with them. The man grabs the woman's hand and tells her to work together to survive. Their evil looks scared the women, but Hansu does not want to be involved with them and goes on his own. Suddenly a boy shouted his name and asked him where he was going. Hansu asked him how did they know him. The boys are shocked and one boy becomes angry toward him and tells him that they all have arrived together. Hansu remembers that they all are his classmates, but they all died early so he does not remember. Here Yumehi snatch back his hand and go close to the Hansu. Hansu thinks she will invite trouble only. The man gets scared when notices Hansu. He is the one who took care of most of the goblins alone. One man says now we have a chance to beat him because he must get tired after that fight. Seeing an opportunity they close to them and threatened everyone. These types of people Hansu hates the most. They all are severed with fear when Hansu comes closer to him. Hyunsu one glare is enough to scare them, and he put out his dagger. Suddenly their boss comes telling Hansu they are not bad people and he asks him to join his team. And he glares at Hansu says it will be better if they stay together and work. By looking at him Hansu notices that he is perfectly adjusted to this place and after some time he may become evil. Hyunsu was thinking of taking care of him but he remembered what Eris had told to him. He remembers how Eric told him not to kill anyone recklessly, but to kill anyone who will bring harm during the Great War. And he goes away with some of the people to find the hidden pieces. Their boss tells everyone to focus on their goals, but in his mind, he finds a place where he can rule. They both go to their different goals, and Hyunsu's friend asked him why he was acting strangely. Hyunsu says he has a memory loss problem. After walking for a while they finally reach the Gangnam Station, a subway where hidden pieces are located. And Yumin asked Kang Hansu why they are going deep in the Gangnam Station, where Kang Hansu thinks he doesn't have time to explain everything to them. If it wasn't for Ares then he would have already gone alone. Then he replied that he had a hunch, and he thought he got a superpower in exchange for his previous memory. This statement shocked everyone that he had superpowers. In the back, a girl murmurs to a boy whether it is right to follow him. This conversation Kang Hansu heard and told them if they don't want to go then they didn't have to. He is the kind of person who respects individual preferences. It's up to them what they want to do. Listening to this, one of the colleagues of Hansu hates him for acting like this, and he thinks Hansu knows something about this situation. Look like he will be an annoying character in the future. They now start going deeper, and that annoying guy asks Hansu if they are heading to a safe place. Hansu denied it and told him that they were going to meet some friends. The annoying guy says who the hell lives in a place like this, or it is someone you know. Hansu stopped everyone, took out his dagger and killed a monster named Green Worm. This terrified that annoying guy. Hansu explains that green worms hate sunlight, so they live in a place like this. If you get a bit you will faint and then you will die, so be careful. This shocked them and now they are terrified. Hansu says he will show them a simple way to kill them. Hansu sees that 4 or 5 people are doing a very good job. He notices a single guy who is not comfortable and he is lacking behind everyone. Hansu tells him that if he is not confident then he should walk on the unbroken marble slab. 2 girls say that this looks like a game of whack-a-mole, where you hit a mole on his head with a hammer. Suddenly a big worm attacked them. Hansu simply killed that worm by tearing apart his body into pieces. Just then that annoying guy came and asked Hansu does he already know what is happening here, whereas Hansu says doesn't he tell everyone that he has a superpower with a smirk. This smirk shocked them and they stood dumbfounded. Then Hansu asked them why they are not picking their runes. They say that they will give him their all runes, but in exchange he should protect them. The beautiful girl says that it's not like they will eventually become Superman by just picking some runes. Hansu replies that you take what you hunt. If they want to follow him then they should at least follow these basic rules, where we see that those who wandered in the abyss for a long period have established a basic rule of I take what I hunt. In a life-threatening situation, the best relationship will most likely fall apart, and they kill each other. Hansu tells them that they should trust their ability, and if they are useless then they will be dumped. They are now shocked to see the harsh reality of the runes and abyss. Now they start taking their runes and a guy says that he got a strange rune. The guy that got strange rune is none other than an annoying guy. He gives a creepy smile. The stone he got is the essence of the Acral troll tribe. He thinks if he takes this then he will gain a superpower. He tells Hansu that he got this so he can keep it and that he will not go back to his words, whereas Hansu nods yes. Now that Toon has a power of defense and regeneration. It's more of a passive rune. Every rune is determined by its ranks. Smart ones with plenty of magic usually have 100 of them normally. Keldian himself acquired many skills, like thousands of skills, and he was the past companion of Hansu, where we learn Hansu is different because he only has 7 skills. 7 is the limit for him, where Ares tell him that he should have learned a stronger skill than this. Despite being struck with only 7 skills was a fatal flaw in the abyss, but he gained strength and he never thought of giving up. He possesses the skill of endless evolution, which only adds speed regeneration, but he evolved that skill. Then he got the nickname of 7 Stars. This name was given by Ares after seeing his unique traits. These traits allow him to walk side by side with them. This defining trait made him come back here on their behalf, so he thinks he doesn't have time to make mistakes in this life. Then the annoying guy says that he will learn it and he uses that rune stone. Then he saw that his resistance stat and other stats were increased. He smiles and thinks he will catch up to Hansu very quickly. Some shitty character wants to catch up to the main lead. This will be interesting to see. Hansu says they should get going. Then the guy came and told Hansu that they should go together. Seeing him acting like this, Hansu noticed that this guy thinks of Hansu as a rival. But this doesn't concern Hansu and he going to let it slide. Now they are going down in the subway, where Min asks Hansu why they are going down anyway, where Hansu replies sarcastically that they going to ride a subway. Then we see a flashback of Hansu where a guy says that he has a shortcut way of becoming strong, where that guy revealed that going down in subway. In subway there is an important thing. That is a hidden piece. Hansu thinks that he will get that hidden piece no matter what. Then they see a gate of blue color which looks like dimensions. Min was shocked to see that Gangnam Station had changed this much. Min asks Hansu does they have to go in there. Hansu replies he going on his own accord, so everyone is free to leave, where that annoying guy says that he is going in. Min also says that she will go. Hansu noticed that she's starting to know that danger is everywhere, so she decided that she going to get stronger, where a boy also says that he will also be going in, where the annoying guy says that he is weak so he should not come with us. But Hansu cut his talk and says that everyone can do whatever they want. This hurts the ego of the annoying bastard and he says that they insult him in front of Min. It looks like he like Min. Now they have entered the gate and are shocked to see that there is a convenience store in the gate. I am very curious to see what convenience store has stored. Now they have entered a convenience store where they are looking for things that will be useful for their journey in a world where monsters and humans coexist, and humans survive by killing monsters in this world called the Abyss. While we see Hansu searching for something, he reflects on what his previous life friends told him. They said to him that in the convenience store available on the second floor of Subway, and in there is always special awards in the convenience store. Then we see the annoying guy also contemplating what he should pick, and Minhee also sees things that will be helpful for her in the future. The annoying guy says that he should choose a different type of weapon to survive in this world called the Abyss. Hansu thinks he was saying that this store will be more like a supermarket than a convenience store since they have more products available there, and the store will have everything he needs. Then Hansu picks up utensils, and Minhee asks him what he is going to do with the utensils. He replies that he is going to cook something, making Minhee curious. Hansu takes out the green worm blood and puts it in the utensil, shocking Minhee as she sees that he is going to cook a monster. We then see a flashback where Minhee was wondering what Hansu is doing with the dead monster as he takes its blood, but she doesn't ask him because she was curious to see what he will do with that. Now, we learn that goblin skins become very poisonous when they come in contact with green worm blood. Hansu smirks as he rips the skin of goblins that he has collected by killing them. Goblins evolve to fight and survive against the green worm, and their venom is extremely potent. As he rips them and throws them into the utensil, suddenly the annoying guy comes and asks Hansu what he is doing, expressing interest in trying it or eating it. Hansu replies that it's poison. The annoying guy gets shocked as he takes a step back and tells Hansu that he should have informed him earlier that this is poison, not some food. Hansu replies, saying that he is the one who came first just by smelling its aroma. Then he asks Hansu how he knew that, and they never thought of cooking something like that. She also wonders how he knows to cook this. Hansu replies in a sarcastic way that it's his superpower, and his brain is welling up with lots of information. This makes the annoying guy angry as he says that they know that he skipped the question by giving some excuse. Then we see a flashback of Hansu where he tells that he thought his head would explode by memorizing all this information, where we see that his friend tells him if he ever gone to the past, then it will be useless if he doesn't have knowledge about everything that has been in this abyss. That's why knowledge is everything. Even in the real world, knowledge is everything. Without knowledge, every person can't do anything. His friend tells him that he has this knowledge, then he should not share this knowledge, and his previous party members tell him everything he knows about the abyss. As he continues telling his information, his one party member gets tired by just listening to all the information about the abyss. His friend says that he should bear this in his mind, that future knowledge only hastens the decay of the abyss, and he is not going to turn into Prometheus, and he should use this information only when he desperately needs it, and he should unravel this knowledge by planning all the figures. Then in the present time, Hansu thinks that without knowing the exact ratio of boiling time of this substance, it will become useless and the use of blood will not help him, and it will get useless for him and he will fight with monster with this poison. So, he takes measurements and proceeds with this. Then he pour all the juice of monster into the bottle, and as he also applies it to his knife. He apply this to his knife because he knows that if a monster attack at him, then he will use knife to defense or to attack on the monster, and the venom that he has applied on the knife will reflect on them and it will help him to kill the monster. Minhee asks if they can also use this. Hansu says yes, and this lightens their faces. But Hansu also demands that they should give him half of the strength or the stamina rune per application. The annoying guy tells Hansu that he's going too far with this. Hansu says that he can also give it for free, but only when he knows that they will be with him in the future and in a long journey. But he also tells them that this idea is not good because one-sided relationships always tend to fall apart easily, since he has seen with his own eyes how people betrayed at the end, and it's natural to betray in this situation because every human wants to survive in the world. Then he says to him that she will give him, but later since she doesn't have this at this time, so he should give her to apply first. This shocks the annoying guy. Hansu sees Minhee and thinks that she is adapting to this world very fast. He gives it to Minhee, saying she should be careful since it will be very painful if it's on her hands. The annoying guy gets irritated by seeing this, and he thinks that Hansu will snatch Minhee from him, and he will not have a chance with her. The third person stares at him. Then the annoying guy also says the same thing about giving him to this time, but he will give in the future the things he needs. The third person also says that he will also do that. Hansu thinks he should start preparing for other things. Then they share it with others while Hansu walks. Hansu takes a bag on his back and says that this should be enough for this starting preparation. He takes all equipment or things that he want to use or to kill the monster, and they are ready to leave the convenience store. while others also say that they are also ready as they take their bags, and their bags look like they are going on a vacation. They are thinking that they should pick everything since it's for free. They ask Hansu why he is seeing them in this way, whereas he tells them that they are trying to become bait by taking these big backpacks, and they will attract others also. He tells them that if they are planning to live a long life by fighting these monsters, then they should avoid carrying this much stuff. As he bury his things, he tells that if they take that much stuff, they will become the target of other people, and other people will chase them to get their items, and they will put their life in the line to get their items, since in this world killing human is not crime and everything's here is fair. So, in short, they should leave some stuff behind. Minhee thinks that at first, she was sure that he is a quiet type kid and he is an otaku. But now she has realized that he is more than a great fighter. As she looks at him closely, she thinks he is also handsome. And this impresses Minhee as she looks at him, and her face starts glowing. Looks like she has already fallen for the main lead. This will be interesting to see the romance between them. Minhee thinks that hundreds of millions of people have gone missing, and not a single person has come back, so she should try her hardest to survive in this world full of monsters. And she has to survive here for the rest of her life. She thinks she doesn't want to die at any cost. To survive, she will do her best, and she will carry her role very carefully. She looks at Hansu, thinking that if Hansu is there with her, she will be very glad. She started walking beside him. Hansu notices this, but he was confused. The annoying guy sees that it makes him jealous, and he thinks he's acting all high and mighty in front of them. As he throws his luggage at the third person, he shouts Hansu's name and asks him the superpower he mentioned. Can they also get that? Whereas Hansu replies yes to them, and this lightens their facial expressions, as all of them smile, thinking that they will also have this power in the future. Hansu thinks that among the people who came to this world, several people developed special powers that they don't have in reality. As he remembers what Clayton said to him, and every time he started, then he opens his dictionary, and doesn't know when to stop. And in the end, if someone is not useful, then they should get rid of them. The annoying guy asks Hansu if he talks rudely with them because whether he is still angry about the first meet. Whereas Hansu replies that he is rude, but he is not used to this type of thing, and he doesn't have much to talk about. As they leave, Hansu thinks about the last 5 years before he came back here, fighting with the monsters that surge in the abyss, and then their hopes turn into despair. And this despair kills all the happiness of everything and all the people. Even Hansu has gone in state where he does not enjoy his life. The annoying guy notices that Hansu always acts like he's alone. Does he have some past, or did he hurt his head while fighting? He thinks he should wait and become strong, and then he will boss around Hansu, and then he will impress Minhee. As they walk, Hansu stops them, saying wait as he notices something in the ground. He touches the ground and thinks it's a slime or something different. But judging by the slime, it doesn't seem like a sword snail or slime. And it's also not a slash zombie, so that leaves him with just one possibility. And that is a land mermaid monster. And we see the land mermaid. And even though they have the name mermaid in their name, they are actually very gross. And they look like a mess. Mermaid are usually very beautiful, but this are looking like shit. All the other members just look at Hansu. Hansu sees the traces of the land mermaid and is sure about it. Since the land mermaids are not very quick in their response, if they get hit by the land mermaid's paralyzing venom, it will be hard for them to dodge the attack. For land mermaids, it wouldn't be hard to tear their limbs or kill them. But I sincerely think that land mermaids look very gross and resemble dead mummies. However, Hansu, seeing the traces, smiles, thinking that he already has a plan. He starts standing. The annoying guy says to Hansu, "Stop acting like you know all of this. Every time you act like you know everything about this." Hansu, every time you look alone or pretend to be alone and act like a loner. Hansu comes to the center and says to them, "All of you, follow me, and you are going to be surprised if you see this." He asks for help from them to kill the land mermaid. All the other 3 members look dumbfounded, thinking about what Hansu has planned. He shows them a bottle with paper on it, and the bottle reminds me of when this type of bottle used in the riots. Hansu takes a bottle and says that they don't have gasoline to start the fire, but they have goblin blood, which is going to be a huge help for them to kill the land mermaid. When Hansu shows them the firebomb, they say that it looks like they are from the convenience store they visited recently. The annoying guy picks one bottle and talks, saying, "Is this really a superpower object?" He emphasizes how convincing it is, as they are not in some other world but instead in a real-world situation. And this will help them kill the land mermaid monster. The annoying guy says to Hansu that he must have preferred this world instead of the original world since they can't use this type of thing in the original world. And since they can do whatever they want in this world without any rules and regulations. Man, I really think this annoying guy is going to get killed by their members. And he says that if he ever had that, Then he would have done something like this already, since he looks like he enjoyed this. Hansu stares at the annoying guy and doesn't say anything, but in his mind, his previous life friends come in. One of them says that Hansu should just kill him. He's very annoying. On the other hand, another friend tells Hansu that he shouldn't kill him. But seeing Hansu stare at him, the annoying guy says, "Why are you looking at me like that?" and asks whether he had said something wrong about it. He is seriously an annoying guy, but sometimes he is really a clown, since he makes all the members laugh with his stupid questions and jokes. Listening to this, Hansu sighs and doesn't say anything, as the annoying guy will never understand it. So he decides he should not waste his energy on him, as he draws something on the ground, saying he will tell them about his plan. They should listen carefully, and he is not going to explain this anymore. He tells his plan to them, saying that when one person throws the firebomb at the land mermaid, all the other 3 members will eventually come forward, and they will also attack the land mermaid. Hansu's drawing is like a nursery class child, since his drawing is not extraordinary or normal. He continues to explain the plan to them, saying that the one who will be on the front line will have more priority to receive the runes. It means the one who will be in the front line will receive more runes than the others. It's like high risk with high return. Since the frontline person will be risking his life in this attack, it's natural that he will have more runes than the other party members. Listening to this annoying guy, he says that he is going to lead with a smirk on his face. He believes that someone who is strong and competent should be on the front line to protect them. He really thinks that he is the strongest here. This makes me laugh. Haha. On the other hand, Yoonhee is listening with all attention, but she is only seeing Hansu. Look like she has fell hard for Hansu. Then, Hansu asks them who is going to throw the firebomb, but he sees that 2 hands have been raised. He tells them to come to a friendly term or agreement, since they will have to decide how and who is going to throw the firebomb. And we see that the 2 hands that are raised belong to Manhwa and the weak kid, or the one who is afraid of the monster. Manhwa looks at the weak kid with sparkling eyes, and he thinks arguing with Manhwa will be very awkward, since she is the only girl in his group. And most of all, she is a very beautiful lady. But on the other hand, he will get more runes, so his mind is focused on getting runes. But Manhwa starts looking at him with more sparkling eyes, and this melts that man, since all men eventually melt in front of beautiful women. But on the other hand, Hansu says to them they should take turns, and then they will have to simply divide the runes between them. They start walking, thinking about how far they will have to walk, and if they walk more, they will not have a chance to walk out or back out from this at this point. The weak kid thinks that he came because he doesn't want to be left behind in this world. But he thinks, are they really okay with him tagging along, since he is the weakest among all of them? As they walk, Hansu is in front of them, and Manhwa and the annoying guy are behind him, and the weak kid is at the last. I really want to see the growth of the weak kid. As they walk, the weak kid is terrified, thinking about what will happen to him in this battle and in the future, as we see that he is not the only one who is terrified, but Manhwa was also terrified in this situation. And it's natural for them to be terrified, since in this world if they make a mistake, they will die. The weak kid notices that Manhwa was also scared, and he decides to talk to her or simply give her some assurance even though he is also scared. He walks to talk to her, but suddenly they hear a terrific sound, and Hansu shouts, saying to all of them that they should be alert since the monster is coming to attack them. Everybody becomes alert, and an ominous aura envelops them as they stand there, ready in their fighting stances. Hansu shouts, Manhwa, now, you should throw the bottle at the land mermaid monster. Listen to the source of noise, since they are where the noise came from. Manhwa panics, but she tries to open her bag and takes the bottle in her hand, thinking that she doesn't have time to be weak. She believes she can do this. Yes, she will do it, since she is the waifu for all the other otaku. And it wouldn't be fair to get killed by this gross-looking monster. She resolves herself and starts a fire in the bottle, attempting to throw it. Then she throws the bottle at the monster, or where the noise was coming from. We see a monster that looks very gross. Yuck, this monster really looks like dead mummies. This monster should go to the Rimuru world for the beauty of the monster, since in Rimuru, all the monsters look very beautiful, someone remarks. As the glass hits the ground, it starts a fire, and the land mermaid gets burned, screaming very loudly. Then we see Manhwa saying that she got it and she got the monster. I knew she would do it. I trust our waifu instinct. Hansu sees this and says to them that the rest will attack now. They should be careful and not let the land mermaid's paralyzing venom, which they spit, touch them, as this paralyzing venom is very dangerous for human beings. The annoying guy sees that Hansu has started killing the land mermaid monster, and he thinks that Hansu is taking all the runes for himself again. We see Hansu kill the land mermaid monster very easily, and he shows his power in a very elegant way. The annoying guy thinks that he can't lose to Hansu. A single land mermaid jumps on the annoying guy, and he gets scared from it. He starts throwing his daggers like a crazy fellow to save himself. And by chance, the dagger cuts the land mermaid monster, and he is himself shocked to see that he cut the monster. The land mermaid monster falls on the ground, and the land mermaid gets killed by this loser. The annoying guy says that this goblin blood really works on this monster. Then Hansu says to him that the venom he gave to them is really useful, or they are worth it for getting runes. The annoying guy sees his dagger and thinks that with this dagger, he will eventually catch up to Hansu. He really is living in an imaginary world. Then we see the slaughtering of the land mermaid monster. As they slash the land mermaid monster's mouth, they get killed by their venom, which they get from Hansu or the venom that Hansu has prepared. The annoying guy is also killing the monster, and he smiles, but on the other hand, Hansu is very calm, and he kills them without any mercy. Hansu thinks that this is going as he expected it, and since in a fight against a flammable paralyzing venom, bringing the firebomb was an excellent choice, and their blades were already getting dull, and the blade's sharpness is gone, but still, they can easily kill the monster by using the venom liquid. Hansu says that he was prepared for this only, and he was aiming to try this solution on this monster, as we see the monster getting burned and getting slaughtered by Hansu's team one-sidedly. Then we see the annoying guy sees the runes, and he thinks that all the runes belong to him, as he tries to pick up all the runes. Suddenly, a land mermaid monster spits the paralyzing venom on the annoying guy. The annoying guy tries to dodge the paralyzing venom, but the paralyzing venom gets on his pants, and his pant gets vaporized. Man, I really wish that instead of his leg, his reproductive part gets vaporized. Haha. The annoying thinks that everyone is looking at him, and this is a humiliation to him. Then land mermaid monster gets close to him, and the annoying guy gets scared, and he shouts, saying that these monsters are fucking pieces of shit, and he told them to get away from him. He is really scared, looks like he is going to piss in his pants, and then he shouts for help, and Minhee notices that land mermaid monsters are going to kill him, and she checks her back, saying that she has run out of the firebomb bottles. Then Minhee asks for Sangjin to switch with her. Sangjin is the name of the weak kid, and Sangjin says okay to Minhee, and he switches places with Minhee, and he tries to light the firebomb, but he can't light the firebomb, and suddenly, in front of him, a land mermaid came, and he gets scared, and the lighter gets out of his hand, and he falls on the ground, and now he is also in a death situation. And the firebomb also gets wasted on the annoying guy, shouting at him, saying he said to throw the firebomb and not to waste it, and he shouts that he always makes a mess of things. Then suddenly Hansu killed the land mermaid monster in front of Sangjin. Hansu splits the land mermaid monster in front of him. Hansu says to Sangjin to calm down and follow the plan, and if they follow the plan, then there won't be any problem for them. And then Hansu says that they should take a break to take rest and pick all the runes that they gained from killing the monster. The annoying guy says that he thought he was going to die, and he says that thanks to his skill, his injury got healed. Hansu says to the annoying guy that if he improves his stamina and takes a rest, then he will recover even faster, and he says to him that he should pick his runes. The annoying guy stands but thinks that Hansu is a bastard since he got many runes, and on the other hand, the annoying guy gets fewer runes, and Hansu is strict on dividing the runes. Then the annoying guy notices Sangjin and thinks that if he takes all of Sangjin's runes, then he will also have more runes. As the annoying guy says Sangjin's name, he gives a creepy smile and says to him, "Is it a Choi family tradition to not have any conscience since Sangjin belongs to the Choi family?" Sangjin tries to say something, but suddenly the annoying guy grabs Sangjin's neck, and Sangjin struggles to escape from his grip. And the annoying guy gives a creepy smile and tells him to give all his runes to him. And Sangjin struggles to loosen the grip of the annoying guy, but it is no use as the annoying guy is stronger than him. I don't want to admit it, but the annoying guy is strong. But he is not strong compared to our main lead. The annoying guy says to Sangjin, "You are dumb, and you can't even throw a firebomb." He tells him that he almost died because of him. While struggling, Sangjin, the weak kid, tries to say something, but he can't speak because the annoying guy has already choked him with his strength. On the other hand, Minhee shouts at the annoying guy, whose name is Jin Taesung. She questions what the hell he is doing to Sangjin and insists that he let go of him, as at this rate, Sangjin might die from choking. As soon as Minhee says this, the annoying guy lets go of Sangjin and says to him that he is a lucky bastard. Jin, the annoying guy, says to him that he should carefully make a proper judgment on how things are going and should act accordingly to it. Now, Jin pulls his hair, and Sangjin screams in pain, but it has no effect on Jin since he is a tough character. Jin tells Sangjin that he should follow others without making any demands or voicing opinions for the rest of his life, and he should do as they tell him. Sangjin should consider all of them as his dad and just follow them. He also says to him that not long ago, Sangjin was crawling to his head on the ground, and it looks like he has already forgotten his place in the world called Abyss. Then Jin says that all the runes of Sangjin will be taken by him, and he tries to take all the runes acquired by Sangjin to himself. But suddenly, a dagger is thrown in the way, and he gets annoyed by it. He questions who the hell is disturbing him, but the one disturbing him is Hansu, and he says to him that it is not his share and he should not take that. The annoying guy, Jin, starts an argument with Hansu and says to him that he is going to give all the runes to this dumb man. He tells Hansu, "Don't you know that what you are doing is the same as throwing garbage in a bin?" He says that giving these runes to Sangjin is the same as throwing this rune in the garbage bag or garbage bin. Jin also says that Sangjin doesn't even do a single thing, and the things are done by themselves. He suggests to Hansu, "How about you and I take all of this and divide it between each other?" He tells Hansu that they would do much better without Sangjin. He insists that Hansu knows he is right, and they should do that. On the other hand, Hansu says that the distribution must be shared equally, and he is not someone who should interfere in someone's livelihood in the first place. The annoying guy, Jin, is not satisfied, but since he is not strong, he takes leave. However, he tells Hansu that livelihood is nonsense, and he shouldn't regret this later. Hansu tells Sangjin that he should watch over himself and watch his share of runes too. Sangjin doesn't say anything, and he picks up all his runes. Minhee stares at Hansu and asks him if he is annoyed by them. She also says to him that seeing a situation where they all fight must be frustrating for him since he was the one who helped them. Hansu says to her that this is good enough for him, and he is not going to complain about their shortcomings. After listening to his answer, Minhee asks if this means he is going to move around with them until the end. She just wants to ask him indirectly if he is going to stay with her until the end. Minhee asks him if he is going to leave at any moment since it looks like he will leave anytime. To this, Hansu replies that it's up to them whether they are going to follow him or not, and without him, they are doing very well, so they don't have to worry about anything. With this, Minhee stops and sees Hansu. Hansu started walking between the corpses of the land mermaid monsters, thinking that mostly the stamina and strength runes were dropped by killing the land mermaid monsters. Hansu thought that the organism's characteristics couldn't be ignored after all since the runes they dropped were similar to their characteristics. And Hansu thought that it wasn't a bad thing, as both stamina and strength were the most important things now. Since these statuses were needed by Hansu, this happening was very useful for him. He could gain strength and stamina with this, making him stronger. Kang Hansu's status window showed how much he had gained in strength, stamina, dexterity, and sense with these runes. His strength increased, and he said that he needed one more stamina, but then suddenly the monster guy popped up. Hansu also noticed that and stared at him. The monster guy shouted, saying that the sum of Hansu's strength and stamina had crossed 50. He also got a system notification about the first achievement accomplished. The monster guy congratulated Hansu for becoming the first person to cross these stats. Others were shocked about where the monster creature had popped up. Hansu smiled, saying he got him. It looked like it was all part of Hansu's plan to get the monster here. The monster creature said to Hansu that he was the same guy who had raised his hand when he was summoned here at first. He wondered who was going so fast, but his judgment wasn't wrong after all. It seemed like he had bet all his money on Hansu. The monster creature blushed and told Hansu that they always love people who make an effort but didn't say anything more on the topic. He sat on Hansu's head and said that, since Hansu was the most active traveler, he would like to give a gift to Hansu. But Minhee stopped him, saying this isn't fair since they already had different physical stats from the start. She was afraid of this monster creature. He told her not to be afraid, explaining that once they started, they didn't touch each other. The monster creature came near Minhee and told her they didn't kill them because they couldn't buy. Instead, they didn't want to kill them. Suddenly, he gave a creepy smile and told Minhee that there were bound to be exceptions, giving her a shock. There were some with exceptions, and she could be one of them. After saying this, he started laughing, saying he was only kidding. Now he came to the topic of unfairness and asked her if she would know better than anyone else. She had unmatched superior aspects compared to others and didn't get rid of it because she wanted to be on par with everyone else. He also said that life was always unfair. Now he came close to Hansu and told him that he wasted his time talking about useless things, and it was time to give a reward to Hansu. But Hansu thought that he already knew what the reward was. Now the monster creature announces that the prize for surpassing a certain number of combinations of stats is that one can get 3 runes of their choice. He asks Hansu which rune he wants, whether it's dexterity or sense rune. Then he tells them about the healing rune. He explains about the healing rune, saying that though the healing rune is expendable, it can even heal a hole in the stomach and heal most of the poison. Having the healing rune means having an extra life. On the other side, Hansu thinks it's useless when a limb is torn off. The healing rune catches everyone's attention since they are very useful, so it's natural to get everyone's attention on it. They think that they can live through danger at least once in a while. Hansu asks the monster if he has the magic immune rune. All the other teammates' faces light up, thinking that if anything goes wrong, then Hansu might use the healing rune on them. But their expectations get destroyed when Hansu asks for a rune that is immune to magic. This also catches the monster creature off guard since he didn't expect this outcome where Hansu would ask for an immune magic rune. But Hansu asks him, and he tells him that he has that rune stone and shows it to Hansu, where all the party members gets depressed seeing the magic immune rune. They think they expect many things from Hansu, but it's no use since he doesn't care much about it. While Hansu thinks that the healing rune is nice, magic and physical immunity is much more important now, and since they are hard to get in the tutorial unless they are a special case like Kang T. Kang T is a friend of Hansu from his previous life. Now he says that increasing their stamina only affects the speed of their activities and recovery, while their physical and magic resistance is much more important and they are more fundamental defense or immunity for them. Hansu thinks that he can make up for his physical attack to some extent with his experience. But on the other hand, magic is totally a different concept and thing for him. With the magic immune rune, his stats get updated where all his strength and stamina get updated. And he thinks that this should be enough for him to prevent immediate death. Now then, the monster creature says that he has done his part, so he should get going. He also says to Hansu that he is counting on him. While leaving, he says to Hansu that he should do well in the future and he also calls Hansu Handsome Appa. Listening to this, all the party members get shocked, knowing that the monster creature was female all along and not a male. Now Hansu says to him they should start leaving or going forward. But he also asks them about their expressions, since they all make a very disturbed expression. They say to him that it's nothing, they should get moving. Now they move to another floor, which is the third floor, F. Minnie has also become stronger and is able to defeat the land mermaid by herself. Even while she is fighting, she looks gorgeous and elegant. Does it sound like I am simping for her? She feels it has become easier than before. She notices that Hansu is doing something. She feels he must be making some stuff like poison again. She looks curious to know what Hansu is doing, but suddenly she gets a realization that even though Hansu has got so many runes, his movements don't seem to increase. She asks him the same. This shocks Hansu, and he thinks that she has a sharp eye. He shows her his hand. On his hand, certain symbols are visible, and they are glowing in blue color. They all look at that and are dumbfounded because they don't know what that is. Then he asks him, "What is that?" He tells them that they can collect the runes like this. He shows them and tells them to put their hands out while thinking about the collection of the runes. They ask him how he knows this, and like always, he dodges the question by saying he knows because of his superpower. She tries to collect the rune by imitating what Hansu did. But Hansu tells them there's no point in copying this. Then he asks him why they shouldn't collect runes. He starts to give some good arguments. First, it will slow down the hunt, which means the overall collection of runes will become less. Second, runes will become meaningless when someone dies. Runes collected in this way will be dropped if the person dies. Then Sangjin, the weak kid, asks him that if this way has so many drawbacks, then why is Hansu doing this? Hansu shocks them by saying that he is collecting this so that he can trade this later. He thinks in his mind that though it's hard for it to happen right now, once some rules are established, they can be used as a substitute for money in the tutorial zone. He tells them that they can't do this, so just go back and pick them one by one. Now Jin, the annoying guy, gets angry and shouts that just because we listen to you, you dare look down on us. He tells Hansu, "Why can't I do what you can?" Hansu smirks and thinks that this guy doesn't know where he stands. Hansu knows he will come to his senses once he goes down and gets cursed at. Now Hansu looks at his dagger and thinks about something. His dagger already looks used up. Now they are in for an overhaul. He tells them to listen carefully, and they are also looking curious to know what he is about to say. He tells them, "Whether you follow me or collect runes, do whatever you want. I don't care about that. But instead, I need you to listen to me right now." He looks at them with a sharp glow in his eyes and tells them to hand over all their weapons to him. This was really unexpected. What will he do with their weapons? Will he modify and enhance their weapons and give them back? Or will he do something to their weapons to increase his own power? Now, the annoying guy smirks and tells Hansu that he's trying to rob them. He tells him that he should use his own weapon and shouldn't ask him to hand over his weapon. Hansu says his blade has become too rough, so there's no use to it. He also needs extra blades, but Jin doesn't hear or understand a single thing. He tries to argue by saying, if you take all weapons, then how will we fight? He says he wants to fight too. He sarcastically says, what do you want us to do? Stand with our thumbs in our mouths behind your back? To be honest, I think it would suit him to do that, haha. We see Sangjin was ready to give his weapons to Hansu, but this makes Jin more furious. He shouted at Sangjin and tells him to shut up. He was standing in between Hansu and the other two. Hansu was very calm even in this situation. He has a glow in his eye while asking him if he wants to fight the guy down there. Jin's confidence was at the peak of Mount Everest, and he told Hansu that of course he will fight. What's there to be scared about? Jin feels hatred toward Hansu, and he always hated the condescending look in his eyes. But we see Hansu ignores him and thinks that he was expecting him to say no from the beginning. The annoying guy Jin was offended to see Hansu ignoring him. Hansu thinks he doesn't know what's down there. He knows it doesn't concern him anymore. He tells them all that now he will give them two options. First, I am out, and you guys can pursue it on your own. And the second, you guys stay out of it and watch me apprehend it alone. Their jaws drop after hearing this, and they all are dumbfounded. He asks them to decide what they want to do. He won't interfere with their decision. The weak kid looks afraid and tells them that he will stay out of it. And Minhee also decides the same. He trusts Hansu's decision and wants to support him. She knows if Hansu is saying this, that definitely means the thing down there must be really dangerous. But Jin tries to influence her by saying that if that thing is dangerous, then they should fight together. He tells her that we should help each other when we are in danger. He claims that Hansu is a rascal who wants to leave his friends behind. I don't know what is wrong with this guy's mind. He definitely needs a good doctor. He thinks that Hansu is trying to leave them here so that he takes all the prizes for himself. He tells Minhee that they should fight together and take the rewards for themselves. Jin thinks that he doesn't care about Sangjin because he is already weak to start with. He just wants Minhee to fight with him. If she decides otherwise, then he will definitely get in trouble. Upon hearing the word friends, Hansu is taken aback. He thinks friend is such a good word, but it's not easy to find or make friends in this world. In his mind, he thinks that they should be glad that Keldian didn't come back here. You guys know who Keldian is, right? If you don't know, let me remind you that Keldian is the same guy who suggested Hansu to kill all the useless people he crossed paths with. Hansu thinks if Keldian were here, then he would probably be wandering around in the indigo or purple zone. We still don't know a lot of things in this world. What is the indigo zone or what is the purple zone? I'm sure we will know this soon. Hansu knows he can't stop here. He has to go and find friends of his past life. He tells them to stop arguing and think about it downstairs. He says again that he wouldn't have said anything if they could fight the thing down there. Now I am really curious what's down there. But the stupid guy is really stupid. He is thinking that he won the argument and he gives an evil smile. He thinks finally they are getting somewhere. He thinks since Hansu was trying to go alone, that definitely means he knows there's something down there. They all go downstairs, and in the fraction of a moment, they come out running all scared and screaming. To be honest, they deserve it. This confident, stupid guy is now running with all his speed. To be honest, it's pretty funny. Minhee screams that she was right. She says she knew that it would be dangerous down there. The annoying guy gets a flashback of a few moments before. When they went down, they all were stunned with their eyes wide open in fear. There was a huge snake-like monster in front of them. This looks like a monster from a whole different dimension. They all were looking like ants in size in front of that huge monster. Jin, the annoying guy, looks behind in anger and thinks he can't believe he's going to fight it all alone. He feels that Hansu is not in the right mind. But now we see Hansu standing confidently in front of this monster. I am sure our hero Hansu will definitely defeat this monster, but I am curious how he will do that. The snake monster doesn't look weak, so this fight is not going to be easy. Hansu throws his bag down and gets ready to attack. The snake was so huge that the roof was almost touching its head. The monster gets ready to attack. Hansu gets in defense mode and quickly hides behind a pillar. He notices what the snake is doing and thinks about something. After this, he quickly covers both his ears. The snake uses a long-range attack and throws a sonic beam at Hansu. The shockwaves were so strong that it almost destroyed the pillar. The pillar shatters down, and the concrete blocks from it scatter around. We see Hansu was expecting this attack. This attack from the monster was made out of magic, and due to Hansu's magic resistance, it was bearable for him. The snake monster is huge and has powerful shockwaves that require magic. Its scales are so durable that no ordinary sword can slice through. In other words, we can say this monster is not an easy opponent. No ordinary human can defeat it. But Hansu says he knows its weakness. He uses his dexterity and quickly goes near its tail. He looks at this thing with the intent to kill and says it definitely has strong scales, but the area between them is bound to be weak. He throws a dagger between its scales, and blood splashes all over. This huge creature screams in pain and agony. Hansu leaves the dagger stuck there and moves behind. As we all know, a monster that is hurt becomes more violent. The snake starts its rampage and starts to destroy all the things near him. Now Hansu has got cornered, and he has no place to hide. This huge thing is still standing in front of him. It again uses the sonic shockwaves and directly attacks Hansu. Although Hansu quickly covered his ears, still he can feel a tremendous amount of pain. Suddenly we see the monster stops its attack, and before Hansu can know what is happening, he gets hit by its tail. Its attack was so strong that it crashed Hansu into the wall behind. Hansu is badly injured. He notices something and thinks it's finally reaching to him. We see this monster is actually shivering. This is a tutorial zone, so even with high physical resistance, it is still vulnerable to poison. Hansu looks at his daggers and notices that he still has only 5 daggers left. He was already aware that 1 or 2 daggers won't do the job. That's why he asked all of them to give their weapons to him. Hansu stands up again with the intention to finish this fight soon. I'm sure he has already put poison on the dagger, and he is playing around to waste time so that the poison makes its reaction. On the other side, we see Minhee stops from running and looks behind. She was very far from the place where Hansu was fighting the monster. She thinks the same, that she is so far but she can still hear all the sounds. Hansu's all alone. She is worried about him. She has lots of things going on in her mind, but the only thing that matters to her was Hansu. She wants to know if he is okay or not. The annoying guy gets annoyed by this and asks Minhee to come with them. He reminds her that they don't have any daggers or weapons with them, so they have to run back to the convenience store. But Minhee's heart and mind were only stuck at one place. She wasn't sure what she has to do. But suddenly she moves behind and tells them that she has to go see him. Jin gets more and more furious. He abuses them and thinks that they have been ignoring him ever since they came here. But now he has no choice but to go behind Minhee. All 3 of them go down again. When they reach down, Minhee shouts and calls Hansu to see if he is okay. But as soon as she sees him, her eyes widened open in fear. She can't believe her eyes what she was watching. In front of her, the snake has caught Hansu in its mouth. Its sharp teeth were piercing Hansu's left hand. And as we all know, that snake must be poisonous. That means Hansu's life is in great danger. But if we look closer in Hansu's other hand, there is still 1 dagger left. Hansu is still conscious. That means there is still a scope that he can defeat this creature. But how will he do that? And even if he kills it, will he be able to survive? We can see he is seriously wounded. Let's hope some miracle happens and our MC defeats this monster. Even I am very curious to know what will happen now. To watch the next video, click the video on the left side. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.